Hey everyone, it's James Haglin here. I am with Anthony Upchurch, and he is currently in his car, and we'll get into that here a little bit later. But hey, Anthony, how's it going today?
Pretty good. How you been, James?
Yo, pretty good. How's 2023 treating you so far?
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any plans for this year, or I mean, anything
Uh,
exciting, trips or anything like that?
well, this will probably be the year I actually take a vacation. It's been a few years since I've taken a legit vacation where I wasn't going somewhere traveling for a conference or working while I'm there. So this year will probably be the first time. Planning on going to Mexico. So
Okay.
yeah,
Well, that's is it first time to Mexico or?
it is. I got my passport with no stamps, so I'm kind of
Oh.
excited.
Reminds me I need to renew my passport. Um,
Yeah.
my mom got her stuff taken care of. Now I'm just like, yeah, I need to get mine redone too.
Got
So where currently what city do you live in?
currently Marysville.
Okay. So I mean, I'll kind of let people know. I know where you live and I know but
Yeah.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
in Marysville. What because I could tell people activities and things to do in Marysville. What would you suggest, like families or people that were looking to do something in Marysville? What would you recommend, I guess? To food, eat, entertainment?
I would say, well, definitely coming from a foodie standpoint, depending on what type of cuisine, that's one of the nice things I like about the area that they brought in a variety of cuisines over the last decade.
Mm-hmm.
So, as far as entertainment, it kind of depends on the household, but the casino has shows, they have local community events. So a lot of it is supporting local business. They'll have some event or like the chamber will be hosting an event or something like that to kind of bring the community out and together.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm currently part of the chamber and hosted movies and music at the park at Jennings Park. So
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
things that we were talking about. Um, what as far as you said like foodie stuff, like what's your favorite food, I guess, is the question.
I like the brisket at Moose Creek.
Okay, Moose Creek.
Yeah,
Um, so because that would be another thing is because I mean, let people know. Me and Anthony will go out and we'll grab food. We have like an annual like let's go get something to eat kind of thing. Try to make it a
yeah,
monthly thing, but it's typically around birthday times or something.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, it's like a whole range. If you go down State Avenue, you got, Mexican food, Asian, Thai food, Greek food, you got Chinese, it's all down that strip, right? And then if you
Right.
want anything more, you just go to the casino and maybe find
Basically.
something there, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so what kind of, I mean, you're in the car, you're on the ferry right now.
Right.
What line of work, what are you doing right now? Like what kind of work do you do?
Right now, I am with a company called Ability Center, and they work with families with disabilities.
Okay.
And the Cliff Note version of that is most of them have some type of mobility need where they still want to get out of the house. Fun fact, when we went into phase one, a lot of people were talking about finally being able to get out. A lot of my clients weren't able to leave the house because
Hmm.
a lot of the places that open up weren't ADA compliant yet.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'm dealing with a class of people that were stuck in the house for 3 to 4 years.
Wow.
Exactly. So it really puts things in perspective when we're talking about COVID and we're talking about the inconveniences and the nuances of just getting out and about and just getting a breath of fresh air when you
Hmm.
don't have the mobility of your limbs and you need assistance down to even wiping yourself.
Right.
Being mobile and being able just to get out of the house is a very big deal to my
Right.
clients.
Right.
So right,
Eh,
yeah. So right now, I'm actually in the process of delivering this vehicle that I'm in. It's a brand new 22 Chrysler uh, Voyager with a chair in the back that I'm delivering to her husband because he's the
mhm.
one that's in need. But we get to see real time every day on meeting the needs of the community, and
Right.
that's the reason why it's a It's a it's something that never gets old, and every person that walks through our door has their own story. So you
Hmm.
never get into a point where a lot of companies they have certain products and services where they just know how to present it no matter who walks in the door. We don't
Right.
know what the need is when they walk in. So we are always in this solution oriented mindset to try to figure out how to say yes.
Right, right. So it's catering customized individually to each family's needs and what's basically what they need, right? So
Yep.
like you're in this Chrysler and that's specific to that customer.
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been doing that?
It'll be 2 years in April.
Okay. Okay. What'd you do before that?
Before that, I was doing uh, asset protection through insurance and legal shield.
Okay.
So I was protecting like home, auto, and life, and then I was also protecting like the beneficiaries or the children in the home, make sure they had a will or a trust in place. So,
Right.
yep, wanted to be
So
full solution.
you continue doing that or did that shift over to what you're currently doing now?
I can still work it in, but like I said, it's kind of case by case. This is mainly focused on the mobility side of it. I'm still licensed because I can work with a family or a business to make sure
Mhm.
that or professionally. So a lot of people have either newborns or a change of lifestyle in their household, but they don't know what's the best way to approach it. A lot of times we learn our life lessons in the midst of a struggle.
Mhm.
And so me being somebody that was in that situation before, I was like, who could I call or who could I talk to get these questions answered?
Right,
Well,
right.
so by having access to these services, now I don't have to wonder or stress or lose sleep trying to figure out what's the best approach or the best solution because I already have an advocate that I can reach out to.
Right, right. So is there, I mean, I'll get your contact information. I'll be all in the descriptions. Is there like is there a foundation or something to help with like what you're currently doing now, or is it all just through, do they pay directly or is there a way to help in that aspect?
There are certain local organizations like ALS, MS, of course through the VA, but there are a couple of local organizations that you can reach out to those, and you'll typically see them doing like the fundraisers where they'll do the cancer walk or they'll do,
Yeah.
the
MS
ALS walk.
walks. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And so that's how people can partner with them, which a lot of people have to support those because sometimes we'll get a phone call and they just either been diagnosed or they're trying to navigate emotionally through just finding out their loved one has been in an accident and has changed their life forever.
Right. Right. So I guess another question I have is who influenced you or what influenced you growing up or now? Like what's a good influence, like what kind of like gave you your mindset and how you are today? Like what was that? Like I mean, some people say their parents, some people say like Michael Jordan, right? Or so I just kind of curious, who influenced you or what influenced you growing up?
I would say my god brother Hezekiah.
Okay.
Hezekiah, he was well respected in the community. He was involved in the community. He served in the
Hmm.
military. You know, um, he was well put together. So
Right.
he conducted and carried himself in a manner that people gravitated towards him because he wasn't just business oriented, but he was business minded.
Hmm.
So he was always working on something or working on himself, and so I really respected that
Right,
because
right.
yeah, yeah, he never was. I won't necessarily say complacent, but he was always looking to be the best version of himself.
Right, right. Always moving forward and thinking of ways to better oneself, right?
Yeah. Yep.
You keep just sitting on the couch doesn't make you better,
Oh, 100%. 100%.
right? Any books or anything? Any new shows you've watched or not say binge watch, but any recommendations on books or anything like that?
Books, Wild at Heart, mainly for guys.
Mm-hmm.
Manhood is all over the place right now. So the outlook on man or manhood. So I would
Mm-hmm.
say Wild at Heart, uh, the one thing where
Okay.
whether you're a professional or like a business owner or an employee, it talks about um, finding one thing and just becoming a master of that. So if it's time management or organization, it's just become a master of that to where it's no longer a weakness or a distraction for you to grow or take yourself to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one would be a 12-week year, where a
Okay.
lot of times, which is timely because a lot of times we build our goals for the whole year,
Right.
but actually the culture at the office that I have really driven home is that we don't have a 4-week month. We have a 3-week month.
Mm-hmm.
So we build the first 3 weeks, and then that fourth week we're building into the next one. So
Mm-hmm.
your pipeline or your client base never really gets to a point to where it runs dry. So the first week of January, we were already building from December into January before January even got here, and we already had probably 3 or 4 sales locked in. And so
Sweet.
that's the culture. Yeah, so that's the culture that we've established that 12-week year, which is
Right.
basically like a night. So it's like 90 days. If you could take your whole year and condense it into 90 days and just like just get so focused to where not, and some people call it an obsession, but you just get so focused to where when something is distracting you. Like our cell phones are probably our biggest distraction.
Mm-hmm.
It vibrates or dings like, oh, do I need to?
Right.
And now it takes you 5-10 minutes to get back on track. Okay, where was I in this email or whatever?
Yeah. That's what I'd say. You just brought the notifications. Like I get notifications. It's like a YouTube channel's posted a new video, and I'm just like, do I want to watch Candlestick Bowling from 1985 today? It's
Man,
that
I tell you what,
decision.
I was at a conference. I was at a
Hmm.
conference, and the lady said, "Everybody pull your cell phone out." And
Hmm.
everybody pulled their cell phone out, and it's like the main apps. Like we went into our settings, and she said, "Look at the most frequent used apps."
Yeah.
She said, what part of those are adding to you, making you a better person, or taking from you?" She
Right.
said, "Uninstall them." And I
Hmm.
probably uninstalled about 30 apps.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah, and a lot of times the first app that the top one would be like Facebook. Some
Oh,
people use Facebook for business, right? So they're constantly on there, right? But if it's somebody that's not using it, right, you're kind of like you're on there a lot.
but you know what? A fun fact about that, which actually ties into one of our conversations that we had, because I got that from you.
Hmm.
You remember when you came up to the house that one time to help me with my Facebook and the
Yeah,
scheduling?
yeah, yeah,
She brought that up. She was like, schedule it. She was like,
yeah.
if it's not an event that's coming up in that hour, don't touch that phone. Don't
Right,
check your
right.
notifications. She said, but if you time block, check post, respond, likes, comment,
Hmm.
go live, whatever in that time frame. And then once that's done, that 20, 30 minutes or whatever you decide, once that's done, put the phone down and move on with the rest of your day
Right. Next
instead of spending the
task.
next 3 hours.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, like I remember talking about that is in we're what you're bringing up is about putting your marketing on there, like scheduling those posts so you
Sure.
can then move on to the next thing, right?
Sure.
Versus just being like, oh, I got to go on Facebook and put my ads up. It's like, well, you should have just scheduled them and you'd have been done. I do mine in a month. Like I take one day and I schedule for the month, basically. And then I just let it
Yeah.
do it. I let it work for me. But yeah, good point. And I want to get that 12-week one in a year, right? That's it. That would be a good book to read then.
That bro, that's a game changer. When you came over, what was that? Man, what was that? 2019, 2018?
Probably it was before, yeah. It was before COVID.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. But I saw a jump. It was a 30% increase in production and revenue
Mm-hmm.
when I was scheduling my post, when
Mm-hmm.
I was structuring my schedule instead of me controlling my schedule dictated my day.
Right. Right.
And there's a huge difference. But when I was doing that, I was more focused. I wasn't tired at the end of the day because I was constantly moving either
Mm-hmm.
myself or my productivity in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah. So I said, they're tools for you, not you're not the tool for it, right?
Yes.
Well, anything else that you would like to leave us with before we go?
Um, Show up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the biggest lessons I learned about myself last year because everybody wants to get better, but we're not investing in ourselves. We're investing in or I think getting better at your business, but you got to invest in yourself. And that was one
Right.
of the biggest lessons I learned last year with showing up because as a parent, as involved in the community, you learn to show up for other people. Like, oh, I got to go here because James asked me to volunteer, so I'm gonna make sure I'm there on time and I'm where I need to be. But
Right.
then we don't show up for ourselves. So it was like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow,
Right.
or I'll set those goals, whatever, and we don't show up for ourselves.
Right. That's good advice because that goes into like procrastination, right? Or being reactive versus being proactive, right?
Dude, there was like a TED talk or something like that on just that word procrastination. It's not that we procrastinate, like she reframed it. It's not that we don't procrastinate, it's just not important.
Right. Right. Oh,
So if it becomes important enough, like if they was giving out Seahawks tickets, club seats, but you had to be there by a certain time and you had a full schedule, it's like, hey, can we reschedule that meeting? Yeah, I got
yeah.
another meeting at like 10:30. Is that
And then they see you on Facebook at the game, and you're like, wait a minute. It happened. I've seen it.
Oh, dude, people have been fired because of that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, Anthony, I want to thank you for your time. Again,
Yeah,
everybody, Anthony's contact information will be in the description if you have any other questions, especially about what he's doing currently with helping disabled families and stuff like that. Any other community involvements that he's involved in, and find out about and learn about that as well. Thank you again, Anthony. I appreciate your time.
my pleasure.